I listened to yesterday's debate and today's, and a lot of it is focused on process and procedure, and I want to focus on people. I made a very simple promise to the people of Bermondsey and Old Southwark in May 2015 that I will never support anything here that will damage them, their lives and their children, and I stand by that promise. I made that promise precisely because I followed a Liberal Democrat who backed Tory measures like the bedroom tax, like cuts to legal aid, and like tripling tuition fees, which damaged my community. So I made that promise and I stand by it, and I hear from people day in, day out about the damage since the referendum, like the universities, LSE, King's, South Bank Uni, UAL, in my constituency, who are worried about research funding from the European Union, worried about Erasmus, worried about a drop in international student numbers, which could mean higher fees for British students. That was not in the referendum last year. I hear from medical professionals worried about recruitment. We have an NHS that isn't getting £350 million extra a week, but is struggling, even with 54,000 non-UK EU nationals. They are worried about future recruitment. I hear from the financial sector, third highest financial sector employment of any constituency in the country. I hear from them, 7,000 jobs already gone. Nobody voted to lose their job. I hear from importers like Brindisa today and Mamushka last week, food importers who have seen costs rise since the referendum of 15%, costs that are being passed on to consumers and customers. People did not vote for a higher cost for a dinner out. And I hear from hotels. Now, whilst tourism has gone up since the referendum, there are many non-UK EU nationals working in our hotels, and there are simply not enough unemployed, unskilled Londoners to fill those jobs were we to leave. I also hear from exporters in my constituency who worry about future tariffs, future costs of things like having to print a different label for beer bottles going into the EU market. And I hear from people who are very worried about their future economic prospects, young professionals who supported the Conservative Party at the last election who now are politically homeless. The former Prime Minister, John Major, referred to the likes of the former Secretary of State for Work and Pensions as bastards. He could not have known that his party would become a whole government full of bastards who are absolutely causing economic damage for my constituencies and for the whole country. And at the risk of offending my own front bench as well as the government front bench, I say this. My members campaign vigorously to remain in the European Union, and they deserve a front bench position that is not to sign up to the government's position, the government's timetable and the government curtailing debate. It is a disgrace.